Alrighty, we are live from Columbus, OH. This is the Ramsey Show After Show. Coach Steve Money. Okay, we got the audio happening, which once I added audio to my streams, that really brightened them up. Not that exciting without it. Some would say not that exciting with it. I am Coach Steve Money. I'm a Ramsey Solutions certified financial coach. And if you're having money problems or you just want to make sure you're on the right track, you can schedule a free financial coaching consultation / assessment with me at calendly.com/Coach Steve Money. That link is in the ticker below, also in the video description. You're watching this on youtube.com/Coach Steve Money. And for my financial content, you just scroll past the Oak Island playlist and you'll see the Ramsey Show After Show playlist. And today's is number 558. So been doing that one a minute. And the Answering Your Financial Questions stream playlist has 138 streams in there, and I'll be doing more of those going forward, as I am unable to do probably 2 after shows per week. Is going to be probably about what it'll be. Maybe sometimes fewer than that, probably around 2. And so Answering Your Financial Questions streams like 4 p.m. or 8 p.m. on Saturdays and Sundays. It all depends on work schedule. And of course, the weeknights as well. Like, probably not Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday this week, I believe. I can do the Answering Your Financial Questions stream, and that'll be 8 p.m. Eastern Time on Thursday and Friday of this week. And then the weekend, I don't know work schedule yet, so don't know. Market report. Just did a little check on the crypto just for fun. But the market up for today, which is excellent, and not some crazy, way up, which would be cool, or the way down, which isn't cool. And so, let's look at the S&P 500. And again, look, it's right there, close to the previous high. So that means if you were right there and you freaked out because of some tariffs or some other dumb bull crap, you were dumb as crap. You were stupid to be selling. And then when it did drop, if you also were stupid and didn't continue to buy on schedule, you did not get it at the sale price here. So that was also dumb. So stop doing dumb stuff is the main advice here. That's not what I wanted to do. I wanted to see what the rest of the planet was like, and looked like mostly up in the Europe. Mostly down in Asia. See what the US dollar is doing. Down to the euro, up against the yen. This Japanese yen, up against the British pound loaf. Down to the Canadian dollar 80. They're not sorry, probably. They might be. They probably still are. And down to the Australian dollarmite. You said NAR. Again, we got Adobe on the 2 days from now, which is Thursday. Figured it out. Did the math in my head. Alphabet up 2%. And that is your Google and your YouTube, of course. And they probably own some other small companies as well. Amazon down 0.62. The Tesla up 3.46. Let's do a reload. Let's see what kind of headlines we have. Meta's creating a new AI lab to pursue super intelligence. Great. Great. World Bank forecast underscores cost of U.S. trade war. Okay, again, have you seen the market? It seems like it'll be fine as far as retirement accounts are concerned. As far as the rest of it, who knows what will shake out as? But I'm assuming negotiations are ongoing between countries. Let's see, and everybody freaked out for no reason at all, and that, of course, is the normal thing today. So the idea, especially if you're trying to get your finances in order, turn off the freaking news. Quit scrolling on your freaking phone and work. How about work more instead of do that stuff? Moody's sounds alarm on private funds for individuals. Okay. Well, we wouldn't do that anyway. Paramount to cut 3% of U.S. workforce as it deepens cost cutting. Movie biz, not making as much money, I guess. McDonald's McCrispy strips receive mixed reviews as analysts question impact on upcoming snack wrap. Okay, first world problems, of course. Why Warner Brothers Discovery split HBO Max from cable networks? Well, you don't want to have too much stuff. See Google, see Apple, see, whatever, whoever else had to be split apart because they were an illegal monopoly. So if you're too successful in multiple areas, people don't like that, and so you must be punished for that. Well, Johnny Pop's $100 million popsicle business licks the competition, and it's a popsicle. But I mean, anything can be a trend. Anything can be a trend. Anything can be a fad, and they can have some reason. Perhaps I feel like for me that this is gonna be some overpriced crap. It's still a popsicle, so regardless of what they put in it, doesn't mean you should pay that. Just like the poppy beverages. Now I'm going to pay, you're telling me I'm going to pay for a can of it. I'm going to pay more than I pay for a 2-liter of the zero sugar cola from the Kroger. You're telling me I'm going to do that? It does not taste that much better to do that. So that's not good financial sense. But people buy it. So, and I got no problem with capitalism. If you can talk somebody into buying your dumb stuff, knock yourself out. More power to you. Bay Area woman sues Costco for over $14 million. I looked at this earlier. A display, actually a clearance display cabinet fell on her. 14 mil might, that might be excessive, but I guess by the time you pay the lawyers, right? Am I right? A bankrupt retail chain closing over 200 more stores. All right, we don't know who that is, but let's take a quick look. No, that's not what it was. There it is. No, I didn't see who it was first. Let's see if I can reload it and read it very quickly. No, I didn't see it fast enough. That's all right. Not that important. Don't feel like I'm blocking them. I do have this one story. News sites are getting crushed by Google's new AI tools, and yeah. Why do we need to see an article about something and read the whole article if we can just read the AI summary of it, which is much faster? So, yeah. So, news sites, including, of course, the Wall Street Journal, from which this is from. Too many prepositions there, used from twice. Let's see, NVIDIA 0.919%. All right, that'll do it for our market report. And I did the story on the AI. So let's do some questions. Very exciting. MDM thoughts. Medium thoughts. Baby step 2, paid a credit card off. Well, that's exactly what you're supposed to do in baby step 2, so I assume it's going well. Let's see. Just paid my husband, apostrophe S, credit card off. The feeling, hooked on a feeling. No, I've got a feeling. Hooked on a feeling is the hooked on a feeling, high on believing that you're in love with me. I got opening a feeling of joy. I got opening up with app, and seeing $0 as the balance was amazing. I've got just under 3K left on mine. Then we start tackling the car payment. I can see the process working. Great. Now just get the English happening and you'll be all good. But much congratulations on baby step 2 working. And if you make it work, it will work. I'm Wilder. Hit my first 100K in the 401K. Great. 29 man. It took me 56 months investing 15% of my income. This was after I was debt free with an emergency fund when I was 24. So doing it right, and maybe has the extra added bonus of never taking out debt. So if you don't take out debt, guess what? You don't have to do baby step 2, and that is the best baby step to not be applicable to you. And so cool. Regardless of how it happened, or if you had some debt and then figured out, oh, debt's dumb, and then paid it off. During this time, my salary has ranged from $68K to $90,000. My employers have been putting in 4 to 7.5% during this time. I did have one 401k bonus that was $7,500. Just wanted to point out it is definitely possible. Absolutely it is. Good job. Big round 2149, wife's retirement. My wife works in a small medical office as a nurse practitioner. The office does not offer 401k or any retirement plan, and we are maxing out her Roth IRA. Are there any other retirement plans out there for her to put more away? We are debt-free, fully funded emergency fund, and are working on paying off the house currently. Excellent. All right. Nurse practitioner. Since she works for the medical office, she probably can't qualify to do like to be a solopreneur, like entrepreneur. Solopreneur, because you can do, I can't remember the name of it offhand, but there's like a 401k version that's for self-employed people, but it doesn't sound like that's an option. So if you have a high deductible health insurance plan, and you can have an HSA, health savings account, and that can have a tax advantaged investments in that HSA account. And what you can do is you can put all the money in there and use that as another investment vehicle, and then you can't use it to pay off medical stuff, but you would just cash flow that or pay that out of whatever, however you have to pay for that, but you would pay for that other ways other than using the HSA for it. So beyond that, you would just open a brokerage account and not be tax advantaged on it at all. So that means your tax on the contributions get taken out just like everything else from the paycheck. And so by the time you get the money in your bank account, it's already been taxed. And so that money that you put in a brokerage account, that's already been taxed. And then when you take it out in retirement, or whenever you want to take it out, then you do get taxed on the gains there. So because it's not tax advantage. But that's about all you can do there. Unless you can also check spousal. But let's see. Not really sure. Let's check on that spousal. But I think that might be if the spouse doesn't have any income. Spousal 401k. Let's see. Spousal 401k generally refers to either spousal rights related to a standard 401k. Grant spouse specific rights regarding their partner's 401k. Okay, so that's not what I was talking about. A couple goes to save for retirement when one spouse is from Forbes. Man, all right. Well, anyway, that's all the ways I can think of off the top of my head. But there may be, like I said, there may be another thing that you can do there. But otherwise, it would just be a standard brokerage account where you're paying tax on both the contributions and on the gains when you take it out. The thing not to do is to not save just because you've hit the limit on the Roth IRA. So you still want to do 15% of household income, and that means 15% out of husbands, 50% gross out of husbands, and 15% gross out of wives, and then that is 15% of household. A lot of people get confused about that, thinking the 15 plus the 15 equals 30%. It does not. It's still just 5%, 15%. Not 5. Key the Zebra. Zebra wouldn't like that, probably. PNC Bank doesn't link on every dollar or any. Oh, but I think I read that one before. But yeah, so it doesn't do it. So then you have to input your transactions manually. Sorry, if any of the budgeting apps don't match up with them. Apparently that's PNC Bank's issue and probably not the budgeting app, since it's all of them. Your friend here won. Okay, I'll be the judge of that. Bought a duplex 5% down, and that's going to be a NAR. Well, 5% if you are the only one living in it. If you're trying to do some dumb rental property thing or some house hacking or anything like that, that's a NAR. 27 man bought a brand new duplex in New York City area. Oh my goodness, for $900K. Yeah, $1 million duplex. With 5% down. I read about real estate, I guess, investing. Yeah, at 17 and was tunnel visioned into buying anything and did it not fully consider forgot the ing there, the idea of having $845K in debt and actively managing a property which has been stressful. Oh, wow, you didn't think about that, huh? Well, I mean, that was, you read about it at 17, doesn't mean you have to do what you read about at 17. You don't have to do that when you're in your 20s, when you're later and theoretically should be smarter. But maybe it was a mistake. Hey, guess what? Here's how you get rid of that. Sell it. Given the rates and price, I break even monthly. Yeah. That's crazy for it to be that much money involved. I looked at this deal as an opportunity to get 2 housing units in New York City area for essentially 50K, that didn't happen. Did you F up? Yes, you did. If so, what do you mean for essentially 50K? Oh, oh, this person is dumb. So here's what this dummy thought about here. Here's what it is. So I'm gonna put out the 50K for the down payment, right? Put that out, and then immediately I'll have enough people renting from me that will pay the mortgage, so I won't have to pay that. And so that's not how life works, though, unfortunately. If so, what can I do? Sell it. I make 200K a year and have 150,000 in cash, retirement and investing account. Sell it. If you don't want to be a landlord, because that does take work, not like passive income like the guy was talking about. And that's so dumb when people say that, and they know darn well that they do more to run it than it being passive income, but they say it anyway. Justification station all the time, constantly in justification mode. Some people are. So yeah, you would just sell it. That's how that works. Or you accept that it's going to be some work, and but that's still you with the Ramsey. And if this is going to be, again, this is just going to be business stuff, you would pay for this fully in cash. I don't give a crap that you can't get it in New York City any other way. That's not the Ramsey advice. So you can do your own dumb crap if you want to. Of course, you already did. But if you all of a sudden decided you didn't want to do this, or you decided to start following the Ramsey advice, you start undoing the dumb crap you did before you started following the Ramsey advice. And so you would undo it by selling this. And if you break even on that, great. If you make a little bit of money, great. You're out of it. I think there'll be more to this here. Is it? It is a little bit. Oh, no. Quite a bit more. Hey everyone, baby step 2. Who is this? This is Metro AU. Metro AU. Australia, mate. Baby step 2. Should I trade in my Toyota Corolla hybrid for a clunker to kill that Fiesta? Depends. Let's see what's up. Hey everyone, I'm on baby step 2. Okay, so basically the deal though is on this kind of thing, if you can be out of all of your non-mortgage debt in 3 years, well, with keeping the car, if you like the car, you can keep the car. Otherwise, if you cannot finish in 3 years, baby step 2, then that would be the time where you would start selling cars and houses and stuff like that. Let's see, could use some advice. If any of the values here, and values was close to Australian, here turned into redneck, are confusing, is because I'm from Australia. Okay. My only debt is a car loan. Oh, that's the only debt. Okay. 2020 Toyota Corolla hybrid. Oh, 23,238. Weekly payment, dude. Oh, 121. Okay, I thought that was $12,000. I was gonna say what? Well, at least it'll or $1,200. Excuse me. So well, at least it'll be paid off quickly. So 121.22 on a weekly payment. That's interesting. It is Australia though. They do different things down under. 7 months into a 60-month loan. Well, we don't do that. And hopefully this freaking loan doesn't guarantee them all of the 60 months of interest. Otherwise, that was really, really incredible Dumb of you. Drive 600 kilometers a week for work. Trade-in value is around $25,000. So you're not underwater on it. So, I mean, that does get you to baby step 3 much faster if you give up the debt thing. Let's see. I'm debating whether to sell the Corolla and buy a 3 to 4 clunker outright. Yeah. Or keep the Corolla and aggressively play it off. Either one is fine. 21 years old, income 2560, a bloody fortnight. Take home pay. Okay. Emergency fund 6500. Little high, but playing it safe. And that's a NAR. All that money would be going to 5500 of that would be going to the car. So if you're not going to pay, if you're going to do this and pay it off, I mean, you're not following the plan. So why would you sell the car too? So just do everything wrong in that case. No other debt, living lean, budgeting hard. Great, but we don't play it safe here. So that's not you're not following the Ramsey advice. You're doing whatever the crap you want to do, picking and choosing from the Ramsey advice. If I keep the Corolla and throw $2,000 to $2,500 a month at the loan, I can be debt free in 8, 9 to 12 months. Yeah, great. So do that if you want to do it. If I trade and get a clunker, I'd be debt free. Yeah, we understand. Thank you for the bullet points. We know how it works. But lose fuel efficiently. Currently 3.8 liter per 100 miles or 61.9 miles per gallon. Thank you for doing the math for me. At risk of breakdowns while driving 30,000 plus kilometers a year. Maybe you drive closer to work, unless your job involves driving around. Higher fuel plus repair costs. Yeah, but you don't know. I mean, Toyota generally good, but you don't know what happens from here on out. Which car would cost you the most money? This Toyota Corolla or something new to you that you would buy, some used clunker that you would buy. You don't actually know. So this is up to you. I'm torn. Nothing's fine. I'm torn. Natalie Imbruglia, who did that song, was she is Australian. Between getting out of debt now versus driving a reliable car and knocking the loan out quickly. Thanks in advance. I mean, and this has to be a you decision. Because I want it to be your fault either way. If something, if you keep the Toyota and then it suddenly has a lot of problems, or if you sell the Toyota and get something else, get a clunker, as you say, a beater, and then you have a lot of problems with that. Either way, I want it to be your fault because that's how it should work, because it's your money and your life and you have to deal with it. I don't have to deal with it. I can say, keep the Toyota, or I can say buy a beater instead, but I don't have to fix it. I don't have to pay for fixing it. So again, the rule is if you can pay off step 2, if you can finish baby step 2 in 3 years, you get to keep all your dumb crap if you choose to. Alrighty. Ben Coop, 92, got 2 kids, some debt, and now thinking about student loans for nursing school. 32, married. Yeah, married. It's from 16 Candles. 2 kids, 3-year-old and a newborn. I'm seriously thinking about going back to school for nursing. We'll definitely do that after you get 2 kids. I used to work in tech, burnt out. Been doing CNA work for a bit now, and I actually like it. Yeah, but see, the problem is, if you got burnt out in tech, what's to say you won't get burnt out doing nursing too? Let's see, crazy, right? Realized I don't want to be behind a desk anymore. I just want a job that matters and pays steadily. But here's the rub. If there's a steady paycheck in it, I'll believe anything you say. That's Ghostbusters. But here's the rub. I've already got like 30K in student loans, dumb, from my first degree. Plus, we owe around 30K on both our cars. And this is where you sell the cars. We got maybe 4 to 5K in the bank. You're doing it wrong. Because step 2, if you've even thought about yourself on the baby steps, perhaps has not. Where are we? And our income is solid but inconsistent. Why? We both work at the same hospital. Lots of shift pay stuff. Rent's like $1,600. I don't know. Why would it be inconsistent? $1,600 in childcare is about to double with baby number 2 here. Yeah. See, so what we're doing here is we have multiple things other than just living life that are going to cost money here. The daycare, the childcare, the going back to school, and you already have to pay off dumbass loans you took out previously. So this is a problem. And so, you may have more insight into yourself than I do, but the problem is if you got burnt out on one job, you could easily get burnt out on another. And how much in school do you want to spend doing that? You want to do another 30K, more than that, even more, 50K, add something to it. And that's not the idea. So there would be no loans for it. Now that you're theoretically following the Ramsey plan, you would be cash flowing it and just putting minimums on your step 2 debt. So that means all of the steps take longer to get through because of the way you want to go about it. Been looking into a few nursing programs. I don't care about the difference between those because it's all going to be the same. Community college is cheapest overall, so that one then. But otherwise, I don't care. It doesn't really figure in. If you decide you're going to go, you can decide on all that. I trust you on that. But again, doesn't appear to be following the Ramsey advice anyway. My wife's super supportive, but she's also tired and understandably stressed. Yeah, maybe she's burnt out. Maybe she should go back to school too. See, this is why people are dumb. She's a nurse already, so she knows how brutal schooling can be. Plus, we had some real talks lately about how hard this might be on our marriage, finances, everything. Indeed. Good job talking about it before you come to Reddit. Proud of you. I just don't see how we do this without taking on more student loans. Well, you don't do that. And so if that means you can't do that and go back to school for nursing, then you don't freaking do it. You be an adult and you tell yourself, no, I can't do that. I can't get everything I want because money is a limited commodity. And honestly, you don't have to say and honestly, you can just type it and be honest and I'll believe you. The thought of more debt makes me feel sick, right? Then don't freaking do it. And you say that, but I bet you would take it out and do it because you want to do it. But at the same time, staying where I'm at feels like a dead end. Wah. Update, I needed to weigh my options carefully, so I looked at this comparison chart of all the main student loan lenders. It helped me feel a lot better about the next steps for my family. Doesn't say what it was, doesn't say what they decided to do, but, good luck to you. Like I said, student loans, if you're following the Ramsey advice, you're not doing that. So don't know. We won't get closure on what those fine kids decided to do. Traditional mix 523. Feeling stuck and wanting advice. All right, Ellen, stick you. No short ones today. Hey everyone. Hi guys. This is my first post, so if anything isn't clear, I'm incredibly sorry. That's all right. Currently, I feel like for me, I'm stuck in our current financial spot. Yeah, well, see, that's what happens when you create a thing that you would call a financial spot, then yes, you are stuck in it. But I'm not sure if we just need more time to see changes slash meet goals. We'll see, the problem is if you have, say, your current financial spot means you have a lot of step two debt. And then when you're talking about these goals, if that goal is anything except to pay off that debt that involves money, then that's a no. You cannot do everything all at the same time. People always want to do that, especially fiancés and people that are 22 years old. But even old people try to do too much all at the same time as well, but it's more understandable the younger they are. A few months ago, we purchased our first home and put 15% down. And you would not do that before you get married either. So you're doing it wrong. We do not have any other debt besides the mortgage. Well, that part's good. My partner, not wife or husband, not spouse, works full time and makes $90K a year, and I'm currently in pharmacy school and will graduate in 2 years. My schooling is completely paid for by my savings. Great. What's the problem? Where are we stuck here? For our next financial goals, we still need about 10K for our wedding. No, you don't. That is in the next couple months, and we're both looking to upgrade our cars. You don't need to do that. Don't do that. Don't upgrade your car and pay cash or have a large down payment or have large down payments. You're on the Dave Ramsey subreddit, so you're thinking about it wrong. We currently have 50K in liquid savings accounts. Dumb as well. I mean, that's not dumb to save money. And so, but you would use that to pay for anything. So if you have 50K in liquid savings account, then you don't need 10K for your wedding. Quit being stupid. Since buying our home, I feel like for me, we haven't been able to save as aggressively. I wonder why. Is it because you have a mortgage payment that's too big? You think? And you know, again, 22, dumb kid. I was dumb at 22, sure, too. And so I was doing dumb crap past 22. So yeah. So some of it you can put to their ages. What up, Sid? Holy Wall of Text, Batman, indeed. Where were we? And because there's no paragraphs or anything, I'm losing my spot. Where are we? Oh, I have large down payment. Since buying a home. It feels like for me, there's always additional maintenance projects, work to be done. Hey, guess what? You bought a house. That's how it works. Welcome to the world, 22-year-olds. It's important for us to take care of our property. However, it's just exhausting. Hey, got a great idea. Sell the house and rent then. After our expenses, my finance is typically able to put about 3K a month in the savings, sometimes only 2K if we have house projects or unexpected expenses. Could have an unexpected expenses. See, and house projects. Guess what? Unless this is a faucet that's leaking or something like that. If it's just something you want to do to make the house look nicer, stop doing that crap for a while. And unexpected expenses, if it's optional stuff, you say no to those expenses. You can do that, but people just don't in general. I just feel like for me, at the pace we aren't achieving everything I want to. Well, you can't do that. You can't have the house and want to do all of this other stuff past your amount of income. That's how it works. It doesn't matter just because this is everything you want. What you want doesn't mean crap. It doesn't matter what you want. This is a little thing we call adulting. Everything I want to. Yeah, hey, guess what? Get used to it the rest of your life. Maybe you were coddled as a child or something, or once you got out in the real world and you started making this amount of money, and if it was before you bought a house and you were able to do everything you wanted to, hey, guess what? After you buy a house, you're not going to be able to spend the same amount of money. Imagine that. Poor kids. We have budget down to the bare bones for maximized savings. Okay, so we have our budget down to the bare bones for maximized savings. So, and that's fine to do. It's fine to have a bare bones budget. That is recommended. That gives you the most leeway, and that means you're not. But also, guess what? Guess what? Cutting the budget down to the bare bones might include not doing any more freaking house projects for a while. For maximized savings. He thinks we're not in a bad spot and I shouldn't worry. Okay. So first fight. First disagreement. Okay. I agree we're not in a pinch, but I don't want to give up our financial goals. Well, one of your financial goals was to get a house, and guess what? That affects what's left over for all the other ones. What don't people understand about that? Due to my program, I cannot work frequently either, as we have long-term summer blocks off of site rotations and classes in the school year usually go from 9 a.m. to 5 p.m., not including my homework or studying. Yeah, so where did you think the frickin' money was going to come from to do all this stuff then? So dumb, so deluded, so 22, I guess. I mean, I'll give them some grace because of their ages. But the man seems to be fine with it. I want to feel satisfied with what we have achieved, but not become complacent and loose. It's lose. Side of our goals. Maybe you should be in a reading program too, or English program as well. Thanks for reading, and please let me know of any opinions, advice. Yeah, you can't do everything all at the same time. Did you think that when you buy a house, it's going to be just like renting? And the problem is, even if it is the same amount as rent payment, or even if it's less than the amount per payment, guess what's going on here? Guess what's going on here? Something you don't do when you're renting. Oh, look, there's house projects. Quit doing dumb crap like that. Quit doing. You cannot do all of this stuff at the same time, so you have to prioritize. You have to not have as many financial goals as you seem to want to have. You cannot do that. You cannot keep doing stuff like house projects and having unexpected expenses and then also put it in savings. You can't do that all at the same time with the limited amount of money. So 22, yes. dumb? Yes. It's logical that if you use the money for dumb bull crap, you won't have it to put it in savings. Or even if it's not used for dumb bull crap, even if it was perfectly 100% justified, you can still not put it in the savings after you use it for something else. You are limited on the money, and having the idea that the money would not be limited, that's just short-sighted of you. So, but welcome to adulting, 22-year-old. Good luck. The advice is be an adult, learn how the real world works. Work more if you want more money. But he can't because of, well, that's your choice. You're stuck in that. That's on you. That's your fault. Nobody's fault but your own. Take possession of that. Take ownership of that. And accept it, that's how it goes because of decisions that you have made. And I got a great idea. The advice is to stop making dumb decisions. Fee-only retirement planners. Does anyone know if the SmartVestor Pros provide fee-only retirement planning services? Some of them may. I think most of them do a percentage of what they make for you. In addition to any kickbacks they get for buying certain funds or something like that. We have followed the baby steps and are now in step 7. Congratulations. My wife is retired and I'm considering retiring. I feel like for me, we are all set. Excuse me. But I would really like to sit down. You can stand while you talk with someone about retirement options. With someone to run a few options. One of our retirement dreams is to purchase a second house in the South, but I want to make sure we don't spend too much on the house. Any thoughts or ideas? Yeah, got a great idea. So, asking about the SmartVestor Pros, theoretically, following Ramsey advice, theoretically in step 7, and aren't doing them all at the same time and just thinks because, oh, I'm building wealth and giving already. And so that means I'm in step 7, even if I have step 2 debt. That does not mean that. But let's just assume is actually in step 7. So here's how much you spend on a second home or anything that's a toy. A second home is a toy. And so here's what you spend on a toy. Cash. What you can buy it for in cash. And so you would not take out any retirement money to do that. So that comes down to what you have saved already or will be saving for it. And so that's the advice on that. So no mortgage on that, dog. And something you do not want to do if wife is retired and you're considering retiring, I got a great idea. Let's not add a mortgage payment to that retirement. That would be my expert advice on that. Actually, Dave's expert advice. Cisco Lupe. Back in my day, you couldn't borrow a house down payment. Now, in my day, we didn't have, seems like every other episode, someone is using a HELOC on the current home to make a down payment on another home. I thought underwriters frowned on that. No, they don't care. Why would they care? Why would they care at all? They make money on that if they give you down payment. If they sell you the house, they make money on that. I thought they even frowned on getting a gift for the down payment, which is just about every 3rd or 4th call. Okay, exaggerating on the number of calls every other episode, no. every third or fourth call, smiley face. No, exaggerating. When you exaggerate too much, it takes away from your point. It doesn't make it. But that's a no. But hey, the back in my day, you couldn't have borrowed. Now you can. So here's what you have to do. You can have whatever opinion you want to about it, but then you take the reality of that and you embrace it and said, yes, I accept that this is what is going on in the world and I personally can't change it. And also, if it doesn't apply to you, why do you give a crap? Thought experiments. People love to do thought experiences where you think about stuff for no reason at all. Instead, oftentimes, I guess you could say as well, at the expense of things that you should be thinking about things that you can do something about to make your life better. Minor annoyance rant. Okay, I just did mine, and I'll let you do yours. Foxhound 34. My mortgage was recently sold to another company. Transfer was completed on May 1st. My original loan was bi-weekly, which transferred over to the new company. However, the new company has a policy where they hold the extra payments until the end of the year and then apply them to the balance instead of applying them the month I pay. And that is a good way for them to make more interest, isn't it? In this case, May and October. Also, they can squeak out a few extra dollars of interest out of me. Yes. Yes. And so if you don't like that, got a great idea, you can refinance with another company. But then, of course, that company could sell it to the company you just tried to get out of. There's no way to stop them from doing that. That would again be another thing that you would have to embrace. So that's too bad. So, but like this, if they're not applying it, then this, I would give an exception to this person to put that in a high yield savings account then, instead of it being there, and then pay it right before they would apply it. Jetpack 46. I'm 33. How should I invest for the long run? Best ETFs. Tell me exactly what mutual funds to buy so I don't have to do anything, is the name of this post. Let's see. Hey everyone, hi guys, I'm 33 years old. Oh, so 33, you know how to use the Google, right? You know how to use the internet. Google, how do I compare mutual funds? And finally, in a position where I can start investing seriously for the long haul. If it's taken you a while to get in that situation, you should have already been looking it up instead of watching WWE or whatever crap you were doing. My goal is to build long-term wealth. Again, that's why you should have already looked into it while you were waiting to be in a position to invest. Ideally, with a mostly passive strategy, why it doesn't have to be impassive. But I mean, you should keep an eye on it because there may be times where you have to change out a mutual fund if it starts sucking. I want something simple but effective. I've been reading about ETFs and index investing. And if you weren't familiar with Mr. Ramsey's investing advice, that would be managed mutual funds. You know why? Because they beat the frickin' index. Or they can. Not all of them do, but enough of them can that you can find them if you are not lazy. And again, watching WWE or whatever you're doing instead of learning about the market. But the choices are overwhelming. Yeah, there's a lot of them. I want exposure to both U.S. and international markets. Well, that is his advice. 4-way split. 25% split there. among the 4 types, and that is small, mid, large caps, and international. And that is his advice. And again, they would be managed mutual funds that beat the indexes, and they are relatively easy to find. You just have to try instead of looking, oh, there's a lot of choices, I'm overwhelmed. Try again, quit giving up so easily. Maybe some safer assets for balance. That's a no on that. It would only be managed mutual funds and real estate. And for real estate, you have to be able to buy the entire property in cash. So that's probably out for you, since you are only just now able to start investing money. Not looking to time the market. That's great. We don't do that. That means you buy and sell. I'm not buy and sell. That means you buy on schedule, whether the market's up or down. Just want to build and chill. Yep. So the time to chill, though, is not now and just say, hey, what do I do, man? It's you figure out what you need to do. Or if you can't handle it, if it's too overwhelming, then you pay an investment professional to do it for you. But you got to be careful with them, because sometimes they like to try to throw you in crap like target date funds and such. So what would your go-to ETF? It wouldn't be ETFs. It would be in managed mutual funds. Portfolio look like if you were 33 today. Any thoughts on allocation? Must have ETFs on tips for keeping it stress-free. Thanks in advance. 45 comments. Maybe some people said, gave them actual ticker symbols for him to do, and just do it. And maybe the person will just do it based on somebody on Reddit saying to do it, which that is probably the dumbest thing you could do. But yeah, you figure it out yourself, or you pay an investment professional to do it. You do not get your advice from Reddit or YouTube even, unless the person is Dave Ramsey or myself, a Ramsey certified financial coach. Hog Slug, did I make a mistake? Wonder what Dave Ramsey crew thinks of where I'm at. Oh my goodness. Seems like a good setup. Let's see. Hey all, hi guys, first time poster here, so pardon me if this is not what I'm supposed to do. Supposed to do. You're not supposed to leave the D off of that. Figured I'd lay out my current financial situation, see what you guys think, and if I'm on the right track. I will do that. All right, here we go. I'll preface with this with, okay, too much build up. I've been working for the last 5 years to get where I am now. Doesn't matter. This has been a long and difficult home buying process. And I feel, for me, really good about what I have. But now that it's been a couple of months, I want to reevaluate. Well, if you're related to the other person that thought they were going to be able to buy a house, and then their expenses wouldn't change any, and they'd be able to save the same amount of money, then you're just dumb too. Let's see. Here's the rundown. Spent the last 8 years saving money and developing my career to a spot where I make. Again, this is all great, but it doesn't matter. None of that matters. Here's what you say. You say, here's what the number one should say. Decent salary, 92K. That's all you got to say. We don't need the saving money and developing career. We don't need all that. I saved up about 35K in cash in preparation to buy a home. Okay, down payment. So you say down payment, and that started looking about 4 years ago. Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. And finally closed 2 months ago. Doesn't matter. Detail multifamily home. What you talking about, Willis? Details of the purchase. Okay, so if this is rental property, you should not have gotten a mortgage on it. So you're doing it wrong. $500,000 purchase price, interest rate 5.75. Yes, I got really lucky with the timing on this one. Down payment and closing costs came out to about $24K. 3.5 down, FHA loan. That means PMI is built in. There's a fee every single month that you cannot get out of. Existing tenant is very good. Multifamily, so do you live in one part and the tenant lives in the other part? Pays on time, takes care of things, etc. No gap in between closing and rent payments, which is what I wanted. Written mortgage payment. Mortgage payment is $3,700 a month after all costs are accounted for. Oh, rent mortgage payment A. Mortgage payment is $3,700 a month after all cash are accounted for. And then letter B, current tenant is paying $1,500 a month, slightly below market rate. Indeed. And so that means you're paying $2,200 a month. Appraisal added from $1,658. And C, the unit I'm living in is appraised for $200,000 a month. This comes out to covering my payment. $1,500 covers your payment. How? That's not true. If the tenant pays $1,500 and you owe $2,000, that does not cover your payment. Maybe the person's talking about what he would pay in rent otherwise, plus the $1,500 covers the payment barely. With the assumption that I'd increase rents on the other unit. Not sure I will right away. I'll take a good tenant over the extra $50 or $100 a month. Okay. Savings currently have about $35K in Roth and 401K. But yeah, you don't debt leverage your housing either. So you did it wrong. You shouldn't have any mortgage on this unit, on this building. You should have gotten a cheaper mortgage. So that's what I think about your current situation. Currently have $35K in Roth and 401K. That's fairly new, as I was not contributing much while saving for down payment. So this has more recently taken off. Currently I'm contributing 5%, but I was doing 15% before. I just wanted to have some extra bucks around during these last few months. I also have 15K in cash still in my savings and checking. So my question is, was buying this multifamily property a mistake? Yes. My goal is to continue to add more properties. No. With the same method. No. Low down payment and house hack. How are you going to do that? How are you going to do that? You cannot live in two different places at the same time. Now, if you're talking about doing that after this property is paid off, that's going to take a while though. So I understand there's a lot of debt included. Yeah. And so guess who doesn't like that? You're not going to believe who doesn't like that. Oh, look, it's the guy whose name is on this subreddit, Dave Ramsey. But my goal is to get to 4 properties before I consider consolidating and things of that nature. Go easy on me, boys and girls. No, you're dumb as crap. You're not following the Dave Ramsey advice. Why do you wonder what the Dave Ramsey crew thinks about you? If you know anything about Dave Ramsey, it's not to do freaking debt leverage. And so to not do business stuff with it and not combine it with your living situation. So no, it's dumb as crap is what they would think about it. That's a nar from them. So yes, you did make a mistake. Alrighty. So that's an hour. Let's see. So the next stream, probably Thursday night, 8 p.m. probably. How to pay for new roof with no savings. Interesting. I don't know how you would do that. Also, get another estimate or get another roofer to take a look at whatever the problem is and see if it can be patched while you save up to replace it, if it like eventually would have to be replaced. A lot of people have one guy out, and if the one guy trying to make money says, oh yeah, we need to put a new roof on this, and you just take their word for it, you're dumb as crap. So don't do that. Don't be dumb as crap is the basic advice. Acceptable cobbler 601, really big day for me. Great, probably something like baby step plateau, not a plateau, a baby step. What is it? A marker where you get to an accomplishment. Which gig drivers normally do the best total income? No clue. Third hour on Spotify now. Yeah, it's also on YouTube now as well. So there you go. So we'll talk more about those things and others again Thursday night. So there will not be a financial stream tomorrow and Wednesday, June the 11th. Alrighty, once again, youtube.com/coachstevemoney, Ramsey Solutions Certified Financial Coach. And if you, yes, you are having money problems, or you just want to make sure you're on the right track, or if you need me to tell you that you're doing it wrong, I will be glad to do that. You can schedule that free consultation with me at calendly.com. That link is in the ticker below, also in the video description. You can email me at coachstevemoney@gmail.com about coaching, about financial stuff, about anything on your mind, anything on my YouTube page. Donations can go to paypal.me/coachstevemoney. Alternatively, the Cash App at $CoachSteveMoney. Or Walmart gift card to coachstevemoney@gmail.com. That same email address. Upcoming streams, as I said, no Wednesday stream. Thursday will be probably Thursday and Friday night will be 8 p.m. Eastern. Answering your financial questions stream. No more after shows until next week. And possibly, if I do Thursday and Friday, probably not both Saturday and Sunday, but probably one of those, and probably either 4 p.m. or 8 p.m. And so it just depends if I'm off or if I'm not off, if I'm working during the day. Depending on shift, I may not be able to do anything on the weekend either. Alrighty, thanks so much for watching. Please subscribe, like, and comment, and thank you so very much if you've already done that. And as always, make smart financial decisions every single day.